How's everybody doing? Can everybody hear me if I don't do microphone?
Yes.
Excellent. I'll talk loud. So we've got just a few minutes. I'm going to dive right into hiring, training, and motivating your patient advisor. Patient advisor, salesperson, nurse injector who upsells, anybody in your office, even some of the doctors can take some of this if you're involved in that sales process, depending on the size of your practice. This is a topic that's near and dear to me because I began, in a sense, as a patient advisor. The doctor that I joined originally wouldn't let me talk to a patient until I emailed 5,000. So I did that. That was boring. We did get some business, though, which was good, going back 4 years into the history of the United States of plastic surgery emailing people. A little bit of brief background. We were founded in 2008. We really focus on hiring, training, and overseeing the industry's top patient advisors and practice managers. My wife will send you an email after this speech with a list of all the things I'm terrible at. The one thing we know we're excellent at is exactly that. Our average YellowTelescope trained individual sells about $2 million per year while maintaining over a 70% in-office close ratio before the person leaves the office, over 90% show ratio. Several of our people sell several $1 million more per year with over an 80% in-office booking ratio on plastic surgery and a 95% show ratio. No one we've ever placed in a position has ever quit, been laid off, or fired. So I hope that's the reason I was selected to do this. Finding talent. I've got 3 things to solve in 15 minutes. All we have to explain is how to hire people perfectly, how to train them perfectly, and then just to keep them motivated and retain long run. And I've got about 13 minutes to do it, so I should have 5 minutes to spare. Everything's going to be in brief today. If you want more details, we'll talk later. The first and important concept, I try to give things that are actually usable, concepts in psychology that can be applied to any practice or any business. My background is not medicine. Now it is, because I've been here so darn long. But before this, I did other things, and the same concepts generally work across the board. The thing is, when you're hiring people, you want to hire an empty gallon over a full cup. Now, if you can find a pretty full gallon, that's even better. It's about capacity. For example, someone took a chance on me at some point in this industry. They said, well, he's well-educated, he's hardworking, he seems to have decent communication skills, all those different things. So you know what I'm going to do is give him a chance. He's kind of an empty gallon. We need to fill him up with knowledge and information, but he seems to have the capacity to do great things. Who here began their career, of the non-doctors, obviously you began your career in medicine because you're now a doctor, but of the non-doctors, how many of you began your career not in plastics or not in medicine? Raise them up high. How many of you also, keep your hand raised if you also think you're pretty good at your job? You guys actually put your hand down, I don't know. What hiring managers make a mistake of is the full cup looks impressive. They seem impressive, but the reality is the cup kind of runs over. Any new information, and this individual can't bring anything to the game because their brain is just sort of overflowing. So you're looking for talent. That doesn't necessarily mean they went to Harvard, although it might. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't have experience, although it might. But you're looking for someone who's hungry and thirsty to grow. If you don't know how to do this, I have a new client, and they're not here, and they're in a different area of plastics, but he said, I've had 10 new employees in my 10-year career as a plastic surgeon. He said, I'm not sure a single one of those decisions was a good decision. That's a pretty bad track record. He didn't have to hire me, but he should hire some professional. Hire Aaron or Jay or someone. In the ad, list the pay rate. Be extremely detailed, and then don't settle. You're still going to get 400 resumes for a receptionist job no matter what you put there. But if the job pays $10 an hour, say so. If you're looking for someone between $60,000 and $80,000 a year, say so. Because otherwise you get people who look great but want more money, or people who are completely unqualified for the position. We hire for talent. One of the things I've noticed is that oftentimes hiring managers, practice managers, and doctors can be a little bit, what's the nice way to say this, less than motivated themselves. And so because of that, they hire experience. I cannot tell you how many resumes that we receive from people who have run 7 cosmetic surgery practices. You should not run 7 cosmetic surgery practices unless you're 108. So it's fantastic that you have experience, but I don't really want you. Or they've run one cosmetic practice for 23 years, which is fantastic, but they haven't taken the typing test and the whatever test, and they literally don't know how to use a computer, and that does not work in this day and age. And they came from an area that was non-cash based, so they don't understand what we're actually trying to do is sell something. So pick talent. You're going to have to train them harder now, but it'll save you a ton of time later. The quick misdemeanors of hiring, and I've written a couple of different articles on it, so you can kind of Google them or PSP them. Experience is a double-edged sword. It can be good, it can be bad. Too many physicians hire someone who's pretty or good-looking, and that's why I got my job. It was the height, it was the incredible demeanor. I mean, no talent at all, just great looks. But the reality is, you know, the gender, the age, the fact that they've had work done, all of these things mean zero to your bottom line. Hire someone who's exceptional. Don't worry about the other things. Well, they were referred by a friend. Well, what are the odds of your best friend knowing one random person who specifically should run your practice forever? It's possible. They're looking for someone of quality, but it doesn't guarantee they get a position. They're expensive or they're cheap. Well, if they're expensive, it doesn't mean they're good. And if they're cheap, it just means that they're going to go somewhere else as soon as someone hires them. Moving into training, once we've got someone good, we have to set expectations on day one. I even set expectations in an interview. One of my rules is there's no whiteout, and there's no pen, and there's no paper for a receptionist position. There is no paper, there is no pen, and there is no whiteout. If I see paper, pen, whiteout, post-it note, stickies, you get one warning, two warnings, and you're no longer a receptionist here. It's a very reasonable reason why, so you have to get it into the EMR or into our computer system. We don't want to lose data or information. But it's a simple thing, but if you tell people after the fact on day 3, you say, what are you doing? Why are you writing that down? They just say, well, I don't know, nobody told me not to. And the reality is you're a bad manager, they're not a bad person. Versus by covering these things, this is a simple example, on day 1, you never have any issues. So in the interview, I'm telling people all of the different things that are my pet peeves. I'm telling them all the different expectations that we have, all the things we want from them on interview 1 and day 1, so there's never any question. You should have a printed out sheet of paper with every expectation you have, because once you set the expectation, you can then hold accountability and management to that expectation. First day, buy lunch. Duh. Just buy lunch. Stop whatever you're doing. Buy lunch for the individual on their first day. Spend some time with them. Tie them in. Do you know when most people quit their job? Never if you're a good manager. But usually right away. They usually try it out for a few days. They're like, before I get too involved here, this is bad news, this place, this manager isn't handling me well. So get them tied in early. Expect it to take months, if not years, to make someone excellent. This is patient advisors, this is patient coordinators, this is your office manager, this is everything. Have them always be shadowing. In my opinion, you should be having a patient coordinator shadow consultations, every single one, for months and months and months. Your practice manager, if you have multiple people, large practice, should be cross-trained with your patient advisor and vice versa, so they can do one another's jobs. Invest in some trainings, invest in some complimentary webinars. We teach LIFO, which is not dissimilar from a Colby. We teach situational leadership. We teach Maslow's hierarchy of human need. There's a lot of different things that we as a company believe in and teach, but we're not the only option. But invest in your people, because when you invest money and time and energy, you retain people. For the doctors who brought a staff member to this event, your staff member is significantly more likely to stick around until next year. If you've never brought a staff member to an event or invested $1 in them, I would wonder why you're entrusting your entire business to them. You should have weekly calls, you should have monthly reviews, you should have quarterly summaries, and you should have annual result reviews. When people are new, be directive. Believe it or not, no matter how good they think they are, or no matter what they think they want, early on, they just want you to tell them what to do. Welcome to the team, go here, print this, file that, make this call, put this in the computer system this way. People just want tools. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. All I want to do is impress you, boss. Once they've gotten over the initial training, they need major support because they're going to be sort of realizing this isn't a cakewalk and they're going to be a little bit neg. When that kind of energy level drops, your supporting level must go up. Be kind to them, give them good kudos, pat on the back, more time. Once they're over that tough hump, then ask them questions, give them challenges. What would you do in that situation? And then ultimately, leave them alone once you know they're good enough and give them some freedom. Briefly on motivation. Pay bonuses, pay commission, pay incentives. Tracy, if you haven't bought it yet or gotten it, you have to buy it. Get Drive from her book, but there's actually 2 books, Drive. Tracy's is great. Then there's a book, Drive, which a lot of you guys have read, that's sold at Barnes & Noble. Personally, I like the book. I don't believe that really what it's saying, though. It's something you never hear on stage because I love reading, and books. Incentive absolutely matters. I know the premise of the book to some extent is, well, if you just leave one child in a room and give them no incentive and put another person in a room and then give them incentive to draw a picture, 5 cents or $1, well, the one who has incentive later on won't be incentivized without that incentive. Well, this is a job and we pay people, and it's one of the reasons I work hard is to make incentive. That's why I want new clients, that's why I come to this meeting. I also enjoy hanging out, but mostly we all want to make some more money, and every doctor I know seems to want to make a little more, be a little more successful, and treat people well, and create good outcomes, and leave a legacy. So pay incentives. Double check that incentives make sense and motivate the right behaviors. You should have for your practice manager an incentive for growth, but also an incentive for keeping your expenses as a percentage of revenue lower. Those are 2 things they can accomplish by selling and making smart choices with expenses. Oftentimes, people just give a revenue bonus, or they just lower expenses. Well, you can lower expenses just by raising revenue, by the way. Run from those people who interview with you and demand a high base pay. Run from those who want stability or use that word in interview, because everybody wants stability and everybody wants a high base pay. And look for people who lack hunger and get rid of them. You want people who don't want big base pay. You want people who are completely stable with or without high base pay and who are very hungry, who are going to succeed either way. So pay just a little too much. We talked a little bit about annual planning meetings and so on. A great book, Start With Why, Read. It's not about saying you're authentic, it's actually about being authentic. And to be authentic, you have to have a reason why you're doing what you do. Summarizing in about 15 to 30 seconds or less. There's no substitute for hard work when you're hiring, training, and keeping people. You have to hire talent. You have to then train talent. And then you have to work hard to retain talent. You cannot just bring someone in with experience and hope they work out well. Use your common sense. People are quitting you, not the job. It's yes, you the manager, you the doctor. Every time someone leaves, it's your fault. Every time someone stays, though, it's your success. Remember, the job isn't so serious, docs. Most of you make a really nice income. Some of you a really, really nice income. One of the big goals should be to grow, but sometimes you don't have to grow. Sometimes a year of building infrastructure is okay. It should usually be about growth. Recognize your strengths and try to hire for your weaknesses, yin or yang, and you'll hire, train, and motivate people well.